Welcome, everybody, to the VR Master League interview desk. I am your host, Trip, and today I am joined by Kato Z, Wigglesworth, and is it Inkso from Forlorn Hope. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good. Yourself?
Pretty good. I just want to start off with, so you guys are all active military, right? And this has been just a hassle to get you on here. So you want to give a little bit of backstory about like what all is involved with actually playing in a competitive esports league in the military?
Well, I'll take this one, guys. The military and all three branches of it at the moment have, I'll go with the RAF's one. We have a Royal Air Force Video Game and Esports Association, which at the present date is consisting of over 1,200 active serving personnel with about 100 more veterans and civil servants and contractors that work throughout the military. And it was started roughly 2 years ago, primarily as a welfare organization. Because as you're more than well aware, gaming, especially video gaming, is a very lonely and isolating process. You've got people sitting in their rooms with their thousands of dollars rigs and all sorts of things. And unfortunately, that's not a very healthy lifestyle choice, especially in the military. So the organization was created in order to provide esports arenas, which are custom-built rooms on stations to get people out of their individual block rooms and down into social areas so that they can game, whether it be for casual reasons or through competitive lobbies like the VRML. And currently the Army has their own version of it, which is today around about 3,000 active members on theirs, and then Royal Navy are also building theirs up, currently around about 600 members. And with like everything that you can do in our military services, respectfully, you can do it as a club organization within station level, and then people throughout those different venues can then be chosen to represent the service as a whole. And with esports, it's no different. We have people from various different genres playing in competitive lobbies wherever you go. In fact, two of the members of Forlorn Hope are doing a charity stream tonight for Formula One.
Awesome.
So unfortunately, they couldn't be here with us tonight.
So which branches is everyone from? I guess we should get that out of the way before we go farther.
I think we're all from the Royal Air Force, aren't we?
Nah, I'm Army.
Oh, there we go.
I eat crayons.
That's the Marines for us. So what got you into Onward? I mean, you're active duty, so you all have done basic. You all have, weapons. Does Onward just, I mean, for me, it just scratches an itch where if I can't go shooting, I can still play, and the gun mechanics feel great compared to other games. Is that what it is for you, or you just like the teamwork, or what got you into it over, say, just playing like Call of Duty or any flat game?
I was
Go on, Wiggles.
sorry. I was fairly new to VR in general when I got Onward. But I just generally enjoy shooting games like Onward. I always play Pavlov, such games like that. I'm about to buy the new Medal of Honor that came out. I'm going to get that as well next month on payday. So I just generally like shooting games like that, and it was quite, because normally I used to play console on on PC games, and Onward was quite immersive compared to, even though it's just a multiplayer game, there's no story behind it. It was still very immersive compared to other shooting games. The fact you have to, take the mag out, pick another mag up, put it in, rack the lever, and such things like that is. There's no other games like it really, apart from maybe Pavlov. So, yeah, that's why I got drawn straight into it.
What about the rest of you?
So,
was Onward the first one?
Yeah.
I mean, have you played video games before?
Yeah, so I mean, when I got my VR, it was kind of a jump at it, really, because fortunately I got a tax rebate, so that was like paid for it. So I kind of thought I'd splurge myself. Got that through, and it was just see what's out there, see what I can experience, what is it actually like to play VR. And first one, because I was really into CSGO at the time, Pavlov was supposed to be that conversion, get in CS and make it as if you're in the game. So I tried that out, and then it just felt not real enough. It wasn't as immersive of what Onward has become. And as soon as I found it, I fell in love with it. It was great. Great time to be on it.
Myself, as Wiggles and Solo have mentioned about Pavlov and games like Population 1, the one thing that I really have always disliked about first-person shooter games is that whole schoolyard feeling where you're just arguing. It's like, no, I shot you, and they're still running around with a health bar, which just gets really, really frustrating, especially with me with such terrible accuracy. It counts. It helps me a lot if I shoot someone once and they actually stay down. But Onward currently is the only game out there where if you get hit and you go down. And so I approached my chain of command whether or not I could. Thank you. I approached my chain of command whether or not I can get an official team going. Went through all the different discussions with the appropriate people that I needed to go, and even contacted Downpour Interactive to get our official logo approved by them to use their logo within the cells. And then moving forward, there's just not enough people with VR headsets at the moment, because it is, again, a very expensive thing to undertake. And so branched out to recruit members from the Army and the Royal Navy. And unfortunately, one of our long-term members that was in the Royal Navy has, if I put it this way, he's gone to the RNS Quest to do some more in-depth research on some angles for when he comes back for season 12.
So, you say it's expensive? Are you all running PC VR, or are you all on Quest, or?
I think there's a mixture, isn't there? I think there's majority are on the Quest. Myself, I've got the Rift, but I think majority of them are Quest users.
I've got the Quest, but I'm running the PC version.
Yep.
I'm just solo on the Quest. Because I can't afford that sort of stuff.
So, how do you make playing Onward work around your schedules? People are deployed. You've only got an 8-person roster at max. How do you deal with, like, say, some of your team goes on deployment and you're just short people? Are you gonna boot people while they're on deployment and pick up new people? Or are you rotating people in? Because obviously you're part of a group, right? It's not just the team; it's the whole. You got the RAF gaming squadron. So do you just pull people in that can join, or what's the plan there?
It's pretty much like a work roster at the moment. Every Sunday night, I'm pinging out to these guys on our Discord channels to get their availability for the next upcoming week. And as you're aware, people work night shift, people get sent on courses last minute, people get sent on deployment. And because that we are officially representing the military whilst we're competing in the league, we also have that limitation that we can't use official reservists from the VRML, because if, heaven forbid, someone is casting our matches and then that reservist starts saying things that are untoward or of a rather trouble-settling nature, people watching that cast won't be able to distinguish whether or not they're in the military or not. So for added safety features, that we just stick with what we've got. And so what I'm doing is finding out quite regularly. I'm pinging these guys. They must get a lot of Discord pings from myself, asking them what they're doing, what they're available for. And then I'm always asking who's not available for the next couple of weeks. And if they're not, I'm rotating them out. Solo, for example, he was not in the team initially. He was acting as a reservist, and then he was filtered in because one of the guys had to go due to deployment. And again, like I said, our naval friend Toru's, he's off on deployment now, so I've had another guy from the army drafted in.
So which is your favorite branch to play with?
I think that's a bit subjective. I think we know who's got the better aim.
I'm just going to say, next time it goes down, I'm not reviving KO anymore.
So what roles do you play? You said better aim. So what roles does everyone play on the team in Onward?
Run and shoot.
Yeah. This is our first season in the league. We're just getting used to the match forfeits, the different maps. It's nice that with all the custom map inclusion, all the team captains have voted just to stick with the normal map, so that helps us help.
Yeah.
But as far as tactics, roles, no, this is something that we'll start looking towards season 2. Mostly it's one, to figure out if A, it's viable to continue in the league with the limitations on who we can and can't use. Can we actually make regular weekly matches? Can we carry on doing competitive challenges each week? But as far as roles, no, I just try to hit the target most of the time.
Or C4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I've got an accuracy rate.
So, how did y'all get your gamer tags? You said you played CS:GO before and you were really big into that. When did you actually start playing video games? And then what brought about the name?
So the name for mine actually came back, I want to say about 10 years ago, something, maybe even longer. So the first game I actually really got into that took most of my time out was RuneScape. And I'm still playing it now. I'm currently still playing it. It's great. But I was always fascinated by people's names sometimes with the compassion. They've got really small names. So I just spent a good 2 hours button mashing to try and find the smallest name I can find. And INXO was the one that was available for me. A few years down the line, actually, about 6 years later, 6 years ago, they brought out a different mode where you can play by yourself and be restricted to certain things, making the game a lot harder. And that's where the name Solo Inkso came from as well.
Okay.
That's where it started.
Wigglesworth?
I don't know. Back in my teens, I had an Xbox account. I haven't been PC for a while, or VR for that matter. I was always Xbox or PlayStation. I was a console player, and all my accounts on them two devices were actually a character of. I was a Trekkie when I was younger, so it was actually a Trekkie, respected a character. Sorry, that I respected until I got my PC, where I got Steam. I'm my Quest eventually as well, and I thought, my name's Wiggins, my real name is, so I thought I'd go with something a bit more comical, Wiggles, because if you're getting killed by someone called Wiggles, you can't really get angry at that person, can you? But I wanted to make it like British as well, so kind of Wigglesworth is kind of like a British name, if that makes sense,
Just tossed it up a
that's
bit.
what I went with. Yeah, exactly. I went with Wigglesworth. So Wigglesworth. That's what I was thinking in my head. So yeah, that's mine.
Myself, I've been playing games for as long as I can remember. My original gamer tag was Shinryu, which was just took after my mother's name, which was my brother's name's Rahayu. But I had to change that a while back because I had this weird interest with games, especially RPG games. If someone ever said to me, "Don't pick this class; it's the worst class out there," or "Don't pick that ship; it's the worst ship," it sort of gave me this, "Ooh, take that class, take that ship, and prove to them that it can be overpowered if it's more of a learn to play issue." And then I did the silly. Let's see, it's Neverwinter when it launched on the Xbox. I made a grand mistake of writing a guide for the Hunter Ranger, and people don't stop messaging you. And I'd say I'm a bit what's that called? I get a little bit anxious with a lot of social interactions. So in order to escape that, I changed my gamer tag, and because I'm terrible at thinking of nicknames, I just used my nickname from work and my wife's nickname, so Kato Z. So
Nice.
that's the brainchild behind that.
Yeah, I definitely feel the I had an Xbox and this is where it came from, because that's where mine came from. I've had it since I was 12, so never changing it. just shortening it for for casting reasons. That's all. So outside of Onward, you guys don't have a whole lot of time. Obviously, you're busy with your lives, just trying to schedule matches. But do you play other VR games, and what are your favorite other games to play, or do you play together at all outside of Onward?
We've got another team member called Lemmy that I've played with on War Thunder a couple of times. But I think Onward is only really the only VR game I play anymore. That's because during the height of COVID, where none of us were really doing a lot because obviously we weren't at work. Obviously, that's when I got my VR. Actually, we had loads of time, loads of energy. Being stuck in the rooms, it doesn't, it's going to happen. But now work started, I'm pretty tired at the end of the day, so I don't want to be jumping around and doing somersaults and all sorts of stuff on there. I just want to chill out, play a normal game on PC. So I probably should play a bit more, but I don't. Apart from the matches.
I don't remember getting this time off work. When did you have that?
Well, yeah. Army work hard enough as it is, so we get.
Oh, right.
We thought you lot had it easy enough as it is.
Just trying to schedule a practice match. I think we've actually given up trying to actually do practice matches with each other. It's just we only turn up on game days at the moment. Like Wigglesworth was saying, now that COVID's starting to get towards a manageable level, work's starting to ramp up again. And as far as other VR games, I've been searching for different ones out there, but Pavlov, Population 1, they're just health bar games, which gets frustrating when you're so used to Onward and you shoot someone, they just shoot you back.
Yeah, I'll say the other VR games that I play they're not shooters. I don't play other shooters really. Play a lot of VTOL VR. I don't know if you guys have tried that, but it's pretty good, especially with multiplayer. Or things like Iron Wolf. I like team games. I don't play solo. So I definitely like playing with other people, but obviously you guys don't want to play with each other outside of Onward, so that doesn't work for you.
He's Army, you see.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as yourself. I don't really play any other FPS games on VR. The other ones that I do have are like, okay, so Boneworks is more. I'm interested in the physics of that. I play PokerStars VR just because it's free.
Yeah,
and it's a great environment. It's great socialism as well. If you like that type of thing. So I like the realism, not the realism, the immersiveness.
The social
that you can
thing,
get. Yeah, the socialness as well. Yeah.
I played Ground Zero a couple of times. That was pretty fun.
You like that one? I don't know. I had mixed feelings about it.
I never did the PvP with it because I know there's a PvP version of it now. But I always did the campaign essentially with a mate of mine. It was just funny because you could climb up walls and could give your mate the middle finger and then crack on with it. But yeah, it was good fun. I wouldn't say it was like my main focus, but it's good to chill out on every so often.
And myself, I haven't touched FPS on any consoles in a long time. In fact, Onward's been the first in years and years and years. And more into my MMORPGs. I played Elder Scrolls far too long.
Love that. Have you tried any of the VR ones? I mean, there's a couple of good ones that I've heard of. I never had. I made the choice not to get sucked back into it. I don't want to do an MMORPG ever again.
I've got my eyes on Zenith when that actually does release, because that'll probably give me my SAO fix. But what was it? The Orbis Reborn? It's just weird when you've got no legs and you look like Rayman.
What about like Township
around.
Tale or whatever that one's called?
That one's coming out to the Quest, I think 13th of the month. And that shows you I got my eye on that as well.
Yeah.
Really keen.
But no, Zenith is what I've got my eye on for an MMORPG on the VR sort of side of things.
Okay.
But besides that, I've tried a number of the sword fighting games, but out of safety for my cabinets downstairs,
Yeah. Yeah,
you get
I've
really into it.
always had a
Why
big
not?
play space, like 15 foot by 15 foot, and it bothers me. I'm like swinging blindly when I can't see, and I end up walking, and then I take my headset off. I'm like, oh, that's a corner. Like I'm just like facing into the corner. I'm like, oh, cool. How did I get over here?
I guess you can imagine how it's like playing in the block when you
Yeah,
can reach out and you can touch either side of the walls. Yeah.
I live in the block, and
Yeah.
this is my bed here, and then about 2 meters, probably not even 2 meters, meter and a half that way, and that's it. Yeah, literally, I have to move this chair outside, and that. I've hit my PC loads of times, and it's worried me. But yeah,
Well, normally I would give teams, a chance to plug for new players, but obviously you have a very limited subset of players that you can take. But if you want to, and you've got a full roster right now, so I guess you don't need to get any more players.
yeah, they got me. So,
The heavy carry. So you've
I
got.
mean, in case there's anyone out there in the VRML in the reservist leagues that part of the UK military forces or have been part of them, civil service or a contractor working at a military establishment, again, that just really refined down our possible player pool to 0. Give me a shout, and if you are and you don't actually want to play for the team or just want to get in touch with the relevant discords, again, send them my way and I'll be able to get them the information they need. Because all 3 services, their discords are, again, they're welfare driven, not just for competitive leagues.
Yeah,
some
which
of the
is.
conditions may apply.
And the welfare thing is something you don't think about, especially with VR, because it's even more isolating in a way, because you're just standing in your room with a headset on, literally all by yourself. But because of the interactivity in VR, it's much more social than playing flat game. Even if I had 5 guys lined up playing, Call of Duty on keyboard and mouse next to each other, I think I'd rather be in VR wherever I'm at playing with those same guys, because you just it's a different feel, right? You get to know people. I get into lobbies and I'll be like, I know exactly who that is based on their body movement and how low to the ground they are and what corners they take, and you start to learn people. And I think it's great. I love VR. And I know Stack Up. I don't know if you guys have a similar thing over in the UK, but Stack Up works with the military here to do gaming stuff for veterans. And we worked with them a couple of times in the VRML and other things. And they're a great organization to work with. So for sure, if you want to get into gaming for socializing, VR is actually the way to go.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's definitely, you can, don't get me wrong, you can have good fun just on PC or console with your mates, but it takes it to a whole nother level with VR.
Yeah.
Even when you're trying to be serious, sometimes you can't be serious when playing it. It's just
Yeah, doesn't happen. Does not happen.
you just have a laugh in the end of the day. And that's what counts. Like, I don't really care if we come last in a league. It's all about having fun, really.
Yeah, that's a good view.
Mm.
And especially,
there's more. Go on.
Especially myself, the only reason I got into VR was I needed something to train for Hado, and Hado's a ridiculously expensive piece of kit, and it's a 3v3 augmented reality dodgeball thing. But it does a number on your thighs and your calves.
You need some
it does
pistol
a
whip.
serious
That's what
number.
you need.
Oh,
I've got that as well.
Yeah, pistol whip is difficult.
You get the
And I
can't
can
walk the
say-
next day. Yeah.
I can say all this VR because I'm getting used to just doing crouching and proning all the time in matches now, just for the extra bit of physical exercise. But yeah, my last Hado game that I did over the weekend, it's definitely paid off. And you just don't get that level of exertion just sat behind a console or mouse and keyboard. And it's like you said, FPS on a mouse and keyboard. I mean, I tried playing Rainbow Six the other day, and you're just dragging that crosshair over to someone to shoot. It's like, oh, come on, I could just turn and go, boom. Probably miss, but the thought's there.
much better shot in real life than I am on a mouse and keyboard for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
just
going to say the
equally
same.
terrible. Nah, I'm just terrible.
It's just natural, though, isn't it? It's natural movement with VR, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
natural to us.
Right.
Yeah.
So what does each one of you do? What's your I don't know what the UK equivalent is, but what's your MOS, your specialty
Rolls.
roles?
Yeah. Well, I'm obviously army. I'm well, not obviously, but well, I'm army. I'm part of the 1st Battalion Grenadier Guards infantry. So the guys that you see in front of Buckingham Palace, the
Yep.
tunics and bearskins, that's our job. That's our part of our job. So we not only do we do the infantry side of things, we do ceremonial. So like guarding the Buckingham Palace, changing of the guard, things like that. Then obviously, like I said before, infantry. Yeah, everyone knows what they do. I think that's pretty standard across the world, don't matter where you're from. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What about the other two?
Okay. You want to go? All right, Sam. So I'm a supplier, so I deal with all the kit that needs to go places. If squadrons need even as little as a bolt or an engine, they'll ask me and I'll get it for them. If we have it in stock, easy enough. If not, send it on somewhere else and we'll bring it in and sort it all out. We also do all the disposal side of things, getting rid of stuff that's either broke or can't be repaired, and just try and get some money back for the military instead of just throwing it in the bin.
No,
Glorified
I didn't
postman.
get anything. Myself, I'm an air and space operations specialist, and that job role is as varied as you can imagine. It can be anywhere from working in control towers to radar units to bunkers underneath the ground, staring up into space and telling civilians worldwide that no, we're just the only ones in the universe. To just working in an operations room. The good thing about the trade is that every 5 years when we have to move around, I can just pick a completely different job that I've not done before. I don't have to sit there doing the same job for the rest of my life. No offense, guys.
I'm the same. There's different parts of supply for myself. I've
No, I'm
only just
stuck
covered
in
the
this-
basic ones.
I'm stuck in
To be
this
honest,
job. It sucks.
I would have loved to be able to be part of QCF. QCS? Yeah, QCS. QCS, that's it. Yeah, not QCF. Yeah, no, you can cut that bit out.
I don't even know what you're on about. You've lost me now as well.
So the RAF's equivalent in the reg is the QCS, which also take part in guarding Buckingham Palace, and that's what I would have wanted to do.
Oh,
But I'm not reg material.
Mate,
I'm definitely not reg material.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about them.
Oh, go on.
There's a reason why the tunic and bearskin's famous, mate, and it's not because of them.
No.
But here's the other reason as why we can't. We've not really been playing seriously this season is because when you get all three services into the same voice chat channel, it's every excuse possible to give banter.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
military way of
Wigglesworth is infantry, and he seems to get shot quickly.
Trying to save your ass is what I'm trying to say. So that old Kato stabs him in the back with a knife.
The amount of times people have gone, "Oh, sorry, I thought that was the. I forgot we switched sides."
Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us.
And it's a shame Taro is not here because he was our grenade specialist. Regardless where you were on the map, he could drop a grenade right by my feet without fail every time.
By your feet, never the enemy. He knew exactly where you were.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, I think that's all the time we have here. If you guys have anything left to say, go ahead and say it. But, I think it was I had a great time interviewing you, and I'm glad you guys are part of the league. I would definitely push people if I come across veterans or active military that are in the EU. I'll definitely send them your guys' way. And welcome to the league. It's your first season. You're what? 6 for 18? Is that right? Is that what you're? 6 for 14. So that's not a bad.
No.
Does the RAF just disown you if you lose all your matches one season? They're just like, these guys cannot represent us anymore. They're out there.
We just get a month or two pays out of the way,
That's why we're losing, because most of the team are rough.
Oh, here we go again.
If the army had a VR team, we'd probably be top.
But then again, aren't the army supposed to be good at World of Tanks?
Well, no, because maybe, I don't know.
I lost that one over the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, I'll let you off that one.
It's not just UK military. If you ever come across a dedicated military unit wherever, we can always arrange some military friendly competitions.
Yeah.
Here we go. Starting World War 3, 4, 5.
Let's do it. VR war games. Let's do it.
Nice. I like the sound of that.
Don't need politics when you can do VR.
I mean, it's not just it's not unheard of. I mean, what's it? The RGN's COD team had a massive tournament against the US forces. They played the US Space Command in the finals.
Ooh. Who won?
US Space Forces, which was it's worth a look to see what people think.
Sorry, we can cut that bit out as well.
Yeah. Well, I think that about wraps it up here. I am your host, Trip, and I have been joined by Kato Z, Wigglesworth, and go ahead and say it yourself.
Solo Inkso.
Solo Inkso from Forlorn Hope. And hopefully we'll be getting some casts in with them soon when they get a match scheduled. And stay tuned for more VRML interviews. We will see you guys next time.
Appreciate it.